You know, there are really only two types of people in this world. You've got the puppets, who just blindly react to everything around them, and then you've got the controllers, who actually hold the strings. Look, history's greatest leaders, artists, and, let's be honest, genius manipulators, they didn't have some kind of magic power. What they had was a system, a highly specific pattern that let them decode and essentially hack anyone's mind. And in today's Explainer, we are going to break down that exact system.
I'm not going to give you some cheap party tricks here. I'm going to share the deep formula for psychological influence. Once you learn this, the second you walk into a room, you'll know exactly who is controlling who. If you stick with me and pay close attention to this, you're literally going to learn the exact patterns that master manipulators use every single day. So, are you ready to stop being the puppet?
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our roadmap for the secret playbook today. First, we'll uncover the secret of real control. Then, body language and observation. After that, the FBI's mirroring technique. And finally, the illusion of choice.
All right, kicking things off with step one, the secret of real control. Now, I know the word control can sound super arrogant, right? A lot of people immediately think you need force, aggression, or a bad temper to get it.
But science tells a completely different story. Every single human brain has an empty space, which in psychology is known as the void. It's this deep, desperate craving for validation and understanding. Look, no matter how tough someone acts on the outside, deep down, they're basically a kid screaming, "Please understand me, please value me." Finding that void is your true starting point. And this is exactly where most people mess up. They try to control others using force or anger. Sure, that might work for a minute, but it completely fails long term. Real control comes from feeding the ego. Imagine you have a really arrogant friend. If you fight them, they just dig their heels in and get stubborn, right? But if you feed their ego, if you agree with them and make them feel like an absolute king, they'll happily do exactly what you want. You just have to make them feel like the idea was theirs all along.
Moving right along to section 2, body language and observation. Because to find someone's void, you actually have to watch them. People can and absolutely will lie to your face with their words. But here's the thing, their bodies, they never lie.
To gather real intel, you need to follow 3 crucial observational cues. Establish a baseline, look for deviation, and check feet direction. Think about those quiet, hyper-observant characters you see in movies or anime, like Iono Koji or Light Yagami. They hardly speak, but they see everything. Their true power comes entirely from gathering information.
First up, you've got to figure out their baseline. How does this person act when they're totally relaxed? Do they talk fast? Do they use their hands a lot? Once you know that, you watch for the deviation. The second you bring up a sensitive topic or ask for a favor, does that baseline change? If they were super chill but suddenly start tapping their foot or breaking eye contact, that's a massive stress signal. And the moment you spot that shift, you have the upper hand. And then there's the feet direction. This one is absolutely wild. People can fake confidence up top, but their feet literally point exactly where their mind wants to go. If they're talking to you, but their shoes are pointed straight at the door, they are desperate to leave. Don't trap them. Let them walk away. Because if you let them leave when they want to, they'll usually come back to you later out of sheer guilt.
Now that you're observing like a pro, let's hit section 3, the FBI's mirroring technique. How do you get inside someone's head without saying much at all? Well, we're going to use the exact same tactics that elite FBI negotiators use to pull hidden truths out of suspects.
The concept of mirroring is beautifully simple. All you do is repeat the last 3 words of whatever the person just said, but you frame it as a question. It's this incredibly subtle way to prompt someone to keep talking without ever asking a pushy, aggressive question.
Let's put this into an everyday office perspective. Say a coworker comes up to you and vents, "Man, I'm under a lot of pressure because of the office." Instead of jumping in with your own advice or making it about you, you literally just say, "Because of the office?" When you do this, something clicks in their brain. They feel deeply heard and totally validated. And without skipping a beat, they'll usually spill more, saying something like, "Yeah, the boss is pushing hard on the deadline." See what happened there? Without asking a single probing question, you effortlessly force them to reveal highly specific details they probably never originally intended to share. But wait, it gets even crazier. Here is the absolute most dangerous version of this technique, the awkward silence. I want you to just feel this for a second. I am going to stop talking right now. Okay, did you feel that? That tiny bit of panic? The human brain is absolutely terrified of silence. When someone answers you, don't reply immediately. Lock eyes, stay perfectly still, and just wait for 4 seconds. To fill that terrifying void of silence, they will overshare and spill their deepest secrets. All right, we have arrived at the final step, the illusion of choice. This is how you close the interaction and absolutely guarantee the person does exactly what you want.
This relies on a psychological concept called the double bind. It basically means offering 2 options, but here's the catch.
Both options lead straight to the exact outcome you want. If you remember one golden rule from this entire explainer, make it this: never, ever give someone a simple yes or no option.
Let's compare the two approaches directly. If you ask, will you come to the meeting, you are literally inviting them to reject you. You're giving them an easy out. But with the illusion of choice, you ask, so are we doing this meeting on Tuesday or Wednesday? By doing this, you completely bypass their resistance. Their brain stops thinking about whether to attend and just focuses purely on the schedule.
And the best part? At the end of the day, they feel incredibly secure. They feel confident because they think they made the choice. But the reality is, you dealt the cards. They just picked one from your hand. You built the exact path that they happily walked down.
Which brings us to one final, deeply provocative question. When someone feels completely free, is the control really in their hands? The truth is, people are never more vulnerable than when they believe they have total free will. Keep that playbook in mind the next time you walk into a room.